Yeah. What are you? That looks like a gigantic spider.
Oh my gosh, right now we are out and there's a Periscope taking pictures of us in the water. This is so freaky.
This is demonic possession on full display.
This right here was Elizabeth Land randomly collapsing on stage. Also from September, we had Loli Young passing out on stage. And then we have the Ozempic executive who just collapsed.
Let's freaking go, y'all. Welcome back to Unreal Reality, guys. Today, we'll be reacting to mysterious videos that'll give you goosebumps. Guys, we're like this close to our 100K sub goal, so if anyone's new out there, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button so this video gets recommended to others. And with that out of the way, let's jump right into it today.
Okay, I'm about to expose something real quick because I need y'all to pay attention. If y'all don't pay attention to this, y'all not gonna get it. Do y'all see this First Baptist Church right here, right? In this big old building, this recreation gym, and they have this church office and this Mac gym, right? I'm about to show y'all something. I'm about to show y'all something that's gonna blow your mind. I'm gonna show y'all what's behind this church. Hold on. Yep. Just as expected. And the thing is, right, what I'm doing right now is very dangerous by exposing this, but y'all need to understand something. If you don't know what this is, if you don't know what this symbol is, if you ever see that symbol and you're trying to go to a church, run for your life. Run for your life. You do not ever want to see this, ever. Like I said, y'all, just because they call themselves Christians or they believe in God, what God do they believe in? What God do they serve? Y'all need to do your research, because what I'm showing y'all right now is important. If you go to any churches and you see these symbols, run. Get out as quick as you can.
Ah, yes, the church's secret mystery club entrance. First Baptist by day, Freemason headquarters by night.
Who is the creator of the simulation?
Some people say it's aliens. There was a professor at Oxford who wrote a paper about this back in 2003 named Nick Bostrom, and he thinks it's future versions of ourselves. So he thinks we're in what we call an ancestor simulation. Like if we created a game of ancient Rome, they would be like our ancestors in a way. There are others who say it's God or pure consciousness outside of the matrix. So all the religions, not just any specific religion, but pretty much all of them, have been telling us that the physical world is not the real world, that there's another world out there beyond this. And so that's yet another theory of what's outside.
Do you believe this is probable, possible?
I believe it's probable, like more than a 50% chance that we are inside some type of...
One of the most fascinating things to me about simulation theory is the evidence of code within our universe. The very core of all computers and processors, they store all information in a simple 1 or 0 system. This is called binary. Think of it like an on-off switch. 1 is on, 0 is off. You might think to yourself, well, programmers don't write in 1s and 0s. No, they don't. They write in simplified languages, but the computer translates that information to binary. Here's my username in binary. All of the information, all of it, on the vast internet is reduced to 1s and 0s.
So we're either aliens, code, or a bad sequel. I'll tell you what, guys, if we are in a simulation, whoever's playing me needs to step their game up.
Something weird is going on. Why is everybody passing out these last 2 months? We'll get to RFK in 1 second. We'll also get into what Trump said before the Ozempic executive fell down, randomly collapsed out of nowhere. So real quick, let's get into some honorable mentions. This right here was Elizabeth Land randomly collapsing on stage. Also from September, we had Loli Young passing out on stage. And then we have the Ozempic executive who just collapsed. But watch RFK. This is so weird. He looks at him, but watch the way he leaves. He just ducks right out. Is that not odd to you? Like that's extremely weird. Look at his demeanor. It's like he was sensing that something very wrong was happening in that room. Now this is where it gets really weird. He was talking about those things specifically, and he turned to RFK and said, hey, is there anything bad about these that we should know? Jokingly. Also listen to what he said at the very end.
Drastic discounts and really effective drugs. And so far I've never heard anything bad about them. I only hear good about them. Is there anything bad about them, Bobby? I haven't heard anything bad. Someday maybe it'll come out.
If you search all the collapses in the last month or two, you'll get hundreds. What is actually going on right now?
Nothing says trust science like watching people fall out while discussing it. Ozempic, great for weight loss, questionable for everything else.
Okay, so this image is going viral right now. This is the Princess of Bulgaria over here, Kalina. And many people, people had ideas about, Michelle Obama. Many people wondered, just kind of, if you know what I mean. Also, Barbara Bush. You may pick up what I'm putting down here. This one also, people wonder if they're kind of installed as some form of like subconscious subliminal manipulation, when they install these people. And of course, we can't forget Bridget Macron. Watch how she sits down here. Many people are puzzled. It just seems odd. Just watch. That's usually how someone else sits down. So this has surfaced on Twitter, and people are wondering if the same situation is going on with the Princess of Bulgaria. My thing is this. It's all well and good to know that certain interesting things are going on with super famous people and perhaps lies and tricks and manipulations, But I will say, whether or not that is the case with some of these people, which do not wait for the mainstream to confirm this, by the way. It's just it's going to be something you're going to have to, don't hold your breath, put it that way. But my understanding is that this all has to do with the erosion of the family unit. They want to do away with father, mother, and children. That unit, that bond is so strong. When that is transposed across a community of strong fathers, strong mothers, that's a strong community, that's a strong town, that's a strong city, that's a strong country. Strong countries are hard to manipulate. And so they're attacking us from all ends here. The chemicals in the food, water, and air supply, the brainwashings and subliminal messages that they fill the media with. And then also the chemicals we're finding that affect frogs that are very unfortunate as well.
These world leaders and their wives. She doesn't even look like she's from Earth. Yo, bro, where'd you find her? On the set of Planet of the Apes?
This is a conspiracy that turned out to be true. It's about a guy named John Lang. There's a bunch of video evidence that's helped support the conspiracy. You see a van pull up in front of his house and opens up the door, and it looks like there's a big ass camera pointed to the house. And from what he says, it's a thermal imaging camera just so they could see if I'm inside my house. What the
wow.
Watch. Boom. It's why?
Bro, nah, that's mad weird and sus. Then they just leave like that?
Mm-hmm. And in every single video that he posts, there's a detailed description in every video basically saying why he's posting the video, and he thinks that they're stalking him, the police. And the reason why they're stalking him was because John was a whistleblower. From 2009 to 2013, he would post on Facebook exposing the Fresno police for doing a scam. They would go to parking lots, and specifically the ghetto areas, scan people's license plates, and then see who has violations on their name. Let's say they get a hit, they will wait for the person to go back to the car for them to leave, follow them, act like it's just a normal stop, knowing that they'll be able to arrest them from whatever violation they had. As the days went on, his Facebook posts would just become more frantic of him just asking for help. And then January 20th of 2016, his house was set on fire and he was found dead with stab wounds to the chest and to the back.
Because nothing says not suspicious quite like your house burning down days after snitching on the cops. I guess in Fresno, even paranoia has a body count.
Okay, if you ever find a little flash drive like this just laying around, make sure that you don't just plug it into your computer, because something like this could happen.
Your personal files have been stolen.
I made a big mistake. Oh, my camera's open and it's taking pictures of me. That's because this is actually not a flash drive. It's called a bad USB. And they're made to look exactly like flash drives. They don't all look this cool. There's really nothing setting them apart. But instead of being storage devices, they're actually little programmable computers. And hackers use them to mimic keyboards and mouses so that when someone plugs them in, they can control the computer. They can install malware, create keyloggers, crash a computer, and even take full control of it remotely. A really sophisticated attack wouldn't show anything on your screen. That's just for the video. And if you think that this wouldn't happen to anybody, a lot of big tech companies and even militaries have been hacked by people just leaving these around and hoping someone will plug them in. Just stay safe.
Plug it in, they said. What's the worst that could happen? They said. Congratulations, you just installed regret.exe.
So apparently they found an 8th continent. Is what I would be saying if it wasn't underwater. So I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw this video. Scientists discover missing 8th continent. Zealandia. That's a pretty name. You know, when the day comes when old Will plays LSR finally settles down, you know, because I'm such a player, right? I am going to tell my kids that this place was a place when I was younger, because by then they'll think I'm old, right? And that it just one day randomly sunk. I'm going to be such a bad dad. Not in a way where I'm going to leave my kids, you know, and not pay child support, but I am going to be like a mischievous father in a way. But yeah, Zealandia was apparently this nation that once existed, or not nation, this landmass, because it wasn't a nation in its time. It was just a landmass. Now, if it was a nation, or if it was a landmass today, it would definitely be a nation. Like, it would have a leader, it would be a country. So yeah, it was just a landmass because it's been gone for so long. It's just under the water. Or it's not under the water, but the landmass still exists underneath the ocean. So yeah, there's your fun fact of the day. Go tell some friends, go tell your mom, go tell your dad. Zealandia.
So we've been living on these 7 continents and one's been what? Ghosting us the entire time? Sweet. Just when you thought 2025 couldn't get any weirder.
Oh my gosh, right now we are out and there's a Periscope taking pictures of us in the water. This is so freaky. Holy crap, it is looking around.
And it's going down.
It's going down. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Oh my gosh.
That was awesome.
A major bridge on China's National Highway 317 in Mirking City called the Hongqi Bridge collapsed on the 11th of November of 2025. The Highway 317 connects China to Tibet, which is a pretty rugged mountainous area in China. And the bridge was literally just completed a few months ago in 2025. According to a lot of different sources, apparently what caused this to happen was a major landslide on an adjacent mountainside, which affected the right bank approach ramp, roadbed, piers, and decks, while the main span and left side remained intact. Now, pretty miraculously, there were no casualties or deaths due to this thing being closed proactively and also an evacuation that happened earlier. And the reason for that was probably because they did a routine inspection on November 10th of 2025 when authorities detected an initial slope deformation and cracks along the right bank of the bridge area, including concrete supports and nearby roads. So by the evening, Mirking police immediately closed the bridge to all traffic, and then emergency teams from public security, transportation, and natural resources departments arrived on site. All stranded vehicles, which were about a dozen of them, were evacuated by 11 p.m. And then they put up a bunch of warning signs all over the place and restricted access to the bridge. By Tuesday, November 11th in the afternoon, the slope deformation intensified into a full-on landslide, causing the partial collapse of the bridge. Preliminary investigations that the Chinese have been doing on this thing are pointing to geological instability rather than direct construction flaws for the bridge. For example, they think that accumulation of water from the nearby hydropower station reservoir likely saturated the soil, causing the mountainside to shift and crack, eventually leading to a landslide. And this region is already prone to landslides due to its steep terrain, seismic activity, and heavy rainfall.
Yo, that bridge had a shorter lifespan than some TikTok trends. China is really out here straight up speedrunning infrastructure failures like it's a sport.
You heard of The Sopranos? Yeah. One of the craziest theories ever about The Sopranos was the very end of the show. Because what happened, Tony Soprano walks into a diner, opens the door, walks in, and he just stares. And he looks straight. The next scene you see is him sitting in the diner, just ordering food and his family coming through. And eventually, while he's eating with his family, the screen just goes black. And it goes black for like 10 seconds. And then the show ends. Everybody's so confused, like, what happened there? Yeah, why did he call his family after? No, what it was trying to show is that he just died. Like, he got From who? And then the 10 seconds was just like the black saying he died. Now, the theory is though that when it goes black, and when in the beginning he opens the door and just stares, what he's staring at, he's looking at himself getting in front of his family. So it's a constant loop that he's actually in hell. What the? That's his hell.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, our line of work, it's always out there. You probably don't even hear it when it happens, right?
There's your friend in there, on the wall.
Listen to us.
No risk, no reward.
So, family dinner, fade to black, welcome to hell. I don't know, guys. If anyone's a fan of this show, what do y'all think that ending meant? Drop your comments down below.
Back in the 1970s, a group of totally sane people checked themselves into insane asylums just to see if doctors could spot they were faking. But the result exposed something shocking about psychiatry. You see, 8 volunteers claimed they heard a voice saying thud, empty, or hollow. This was enough to get them admitted into the asylum. There, the real test began. Once inside, they acted completely normal. No voices, no symptoms, nothing. But doctors still labeled each fake patient with severe mental illnesses. Some were even stuck inside for over 50 days. The wildest part is that across 12 hospitals, not one staff member realized they were imposters. Stanford published the study and it rocked the entire psychiatric field. One hospital fought back, saying, "Send us all your fakes, we'll catch them." Over the next 3 months, they flagged 41 patients as frauds and suspected 42 more. But in the end, Stanford revealed the twist. They hadn't sent a single fake patient at all.
Oh, hell no. You couldn't pay me enough money to check myself into a psych ward, much less fake my way in. Maybe these people weren't as sane as they claimed to be.
Have you guys seen that video where a girl put together a whole folder with all her personal info just in case she ever gets kidnapped? Inside the folder, she even included a strand of her hair for DNA testing and her fingerprints. But that's not all. She added the passwords to all her social media accounts, a bunch of photos of herself from different angles, and even her medical records. And the creepiest part? She made a little envelope with a list of people she thinks should be suspected first if she ever goes missing. On that list, her closest friends. On top of that, she even left a sample of her handwriting in case someone ever tries to fake a letter from her. She did all of this so, if the worst ever happened, investigators would have everything they need in one place.
So she's basically manifesting herself to be kidnapped. And let me tell you something, if that folder ever got in the hands of the wrong person, her life would be over.
This is demonic possession on full display.
Ooh.
Stay away from me.
Wow.
Back up. I'm Jesus Christ. All Almighty. Nobody else needs to die for their sins, motherfucker. No. Nobody else needs to die. You are under arrest. Put your hands behind your back now. No, I'm not. Now, yes, you are. You're gonna get tased. Put your hands behind your back now. Put your hands behind your back now. Not to do this to me.
Jesus Christ is here. You're all safe. You are safe.
Demonic possession? More like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And forget the handcuffs, guys. Get this man a straitjacket and one-way ticket to Bellevue Hospital.
So I'm in the parking lot here. I just got done getting groceries and I don't know what's going on, but this lady came up to me to my window after I put my groceries in my car and says, and she has AirPods in her hand and she's trying to like hand them to me, but my window's up and she starts like hitting on the window with the AirPods. I'm like, what? So she starts saying, here, take them. These are yours. It's a gift. And I'm like, what? No, you're good. I don't want them. Thank you, though. So in order to kind of get her away, I start to scoot forward a little bit and she starts screaming, take the AirPods, and starts hitting on the window. And I notice like people around her wondering what's going on. So I'm not sure what that was about, but that seemed a little off. I've never had something like that happen. I don't know if anybody else has had that happen or if it's some sort of scam, if they're wanting me to get out of the car for some reason. I don't know, but if you know what this is about, comment about it so people know, because that's a little wild. Okay. Luckily, they had security come over and handle the situation and pull that woman aside. I don't still know what's going on, but okay.
Oh, that's creepy. This is the trick they use to track you and your location with those AirPods. I'm pretty sure this guy just avoided getting himself robbed.
There was this guy, he lived in the city, he was in New York. I don't think he was a big influencer or anything, but he was the type of guy who like filmed himself a lot. Over the course of these vlogs he was doing, he was mentioning that he's like, the weirdest thing happened to me last night. My toothbrush was on the other side of the counter. He lives alone in a big apartment building in New York. He eventually starts to question his own sanity. So he sets up a camera. Over the first couple of nights he's filming, nothing happens. He doesn't even know what he's looking for. And then there's this one clip. It's the middle of the night. This cupboard opens and this little woman climbs out of the cupboard. She squats down and pees in his sink. And she goes to his fridge. She starts eating all this food in his fridge. And then she like goes around the house. She comes back with like a toothbrush, sure enough, cleans her teeth. And then she goes back into the cupboard and puts everything back. And the guy discovered it and he was like horrified. This is real too? I've seen this video and I believe it's true. This guy did an interview for it. He was like, yeah, it turns out in that cupboard, you could climb up into the ceiling of the apartment and hide.
Wow. So she pisses in his sink, steals his food, and then uses his toothbrush? Guys, this is like epic proportions of disrespect. This is a hat trick of disrespect.
Can Neo pick up the poop from the dog?
It can.
With a bag or without a bag?
You have to use a bag. I mean, it can
But you
rinse
told
its,
me
it
Neo
can
could
rinse
wash
its
its
hand,
hands.
but that would be kind of disgusting, right? It should use a bag. I think it should use a bag.
Neo decides it wants to come watch me sleep in the middle of the night.
If you're worried about that, I would recommend setting your bedroom as a no-go zone. Then Neo cannot go there. You can also schedule and say, like, in these hours, Neo can not go into my bedroom. If you would like Neo to come in with a glass of water for you in the morning and still be allowed to get into
So
your
there's a geofence that
There's
Neo
a geofence.
cannot come watch me sleep in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Can Neo put the dishes in the dishwasher so my wife doesn't yell at me anymore because she doesn't like how I put the dishes in?
It can. And importantly, Neo can actually wash his hands, which is a very subtle thing.
Really?
Yeah, so the hands on Neo is actually submersible. This is essentially if you're going to work in a home.
Yeah.
And one of the first things we really realized when we put it in my home, and the first thing, like my wife, is like, how does it wash his hands?
Can Neo walk my dog?
Yes, Neo can walk your dog. Will Neo be allowed to walk your dog? That's something interesting that we're just working on now because that's into a public space.
Can Neo plunge a toilet?
Yes.
Has he plunged your toilet?
Yes.
We'll stop at that question.
People, Neo is controlled by humans. So if Neo is watching her sleep, it's really some creep actually watching her sleep. Talk about disturbing.
You don't need a pilot's license, and you don't even need a runway.
It looks awesome from down here.
Such a great feeling and just the best view ever. In normal aviation, you don't get to fly this low to the ground that often, so getting to do it in this point of view is spectacular.
There, can you see it? It's just there. It looks wrong. You know, my brain can't quite get a handle on the movement. I'm used to seeing how cars, motorbikes, airplanes move. This just moves differently. It's disconcerting. It's weird. I mean, it's awesome. It's weird.
If you've ever played a video game, you can fly this thing. It's one joystick. Seriously. Starting price, $190,000, and for now, the battery life is only around 20 minutes, the range only about 20 miles. Pivotal says that will improve.
What are we calling this? We call it like an aircraft? We call it a flying car? I mean, what is it?
So technically it's an eVTOL, which stands for Electric Vertical Takeoff and Landing
You need a
Aircraft.
sexier acronym,
Yeah.
a sexier name.
Yeah,
sure,
exactly.
right. And why don't you put some wheels on it and actually make it a flying car?
We definitely don't have the weight budget for wheels to be taking it on the road, unfortunately.
Disappointed, Ken.
One pilot told me flying a Cessna is like driving a sedate sedan.
Are regular traffic accidents not exciting enough? Like, most of these people can't even merge on a freeway. But sure, let's throw them 200 feet in the air and see what'll happen.
Look at this shit. What the f? Why ain't never seen no shit like that in my life, boy? Is it falling? Bro, that ain't no normal shit.
Mm-mm.
No. Bro, they blanking.
He might be Illuminati.
How can we hang out like?
I mean, shit. I mean, hey, we can hang out in my chat.
You don't want somebody to like pump you, make you bigger than you already are?
Who you? Who you?
What can you do for me? Only time will tell, right?
What can you do for me though?
My man, did you want to take down my contact number? We gotta set that on top.
Wait, no. What can you do for me?
Huh?
What can you do for me?
The thing is, what could I not do for you?
Ooh. Can you give 10,000 subs?
10,000 what? One more time?
Subs.
Subs. Clarify that, please.
That's subscriptions. On live stream.
I can get you a lot more than that.
Ooh.
Yeah. How do I link up with this guy, dude?
He might be Illuminati.
Ooh. Yeah. How do I link up with this guy, man?
Something's giving me the funny feeling that the Illuminati would know what a sub is, especially when talking to Kai Cenat. So, there's that, y'all.
¿Me da permiso, verdad?
Come on.
En el nombre del Padre, Hijo y Espíritu Santo. Vean mis manos, yo no llevo nada. ¿Verdad? No quiero que después vayan a decir de que yo lo llevo en ¿ya? Hermano, meta abajo las manos y ahí lo vaya. Abajo. Busque. Abajo. Mira. ¿Verdad?
What is it?
Como que dice, ya basta de tanta incredulidad. ¿Verdad? Hoy llevémoslo para allá y allá lo vamos a abrir. Ayúdalo ahora sin miedo, mi hermano. Alúmbrame con algo, algo fuerte, alúmbrame ahí.
Allá en la cocina está mi teléfono.
Con cuidado, con cuidado.
What is it, in a bag?
Rápido, mira. Alumbra ahí, ahí. Ahora, sigue rompiendo. Mira.
What is it, a candle? What?
Mire cómo está desalpicado.
So, a candle? Imagine getting spooked by something that shops in the clearance aisles at Bath & Body Works. That's all I got for this one, guys. Leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Smash that like and subscribe button. Fam, the memberships are open. Come join. We will be adding weekly content, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.